Hi, so it's John Etheridge for a Monday afternoon, a beautiful sunny day here in Norfolk. Not bad for this time of year, it's got to be said. Right, so you'll probably notice that I've changed my channel name. I've changed it, I believe, to Art Material Guides, Tuition and Reviews. It dawned on me over the weekend, well, for a while now actually. I actually don't do that much cycling now. When I first started, I was called the cycling artist because that's the thing I did. I did cycling, I did art. But I don't do that really anymore. But over the course of that amount of time, I've built up a vast, and I mean vast, I mean you can see just two sets of pastels in the background, and I have absolutely thousands of these in different varieties and brands, and I have oil pastels, ballpoint pens, coloured pencils, graphite pencils, Conte crayons, watercolours, inks. Oh, far too many things to mention them all. So that's why I've kind of changed, because I was kind of inspired by Harry at the Art Gear Guide. I actually like quite watching Harry's reviews. They do help, and they really do help. You know, I'm a very experienced artist, and he mainly deals with just the pencil side of things. Now, I'd like to deal with a lot more than that. I'd like to show you how it doesn't necessarily have to be very expensive to pursue some things in art that are going to actually make your art very much better. You know, there's simple things. And that said, excuse the creaking of my door. That said, I'm going to show you something today that's going to change everything for you, and what it is blue tack or white tack. Now, there is a slight difference. I cannot say I am 100% on what that difference is. However, what I am led to believe is that the white tack is slightly softer and slightly more stickier than the blue tack. My other perception is it's probably for the actual colour side of things, if you didn't want white or blue tack to show behind whatever it is you're sticking it with. Now, you're saying to yourselves probably, what's white tack or blue tack got to do with anything? Well, there is a fantastic way of using white tack and blue tack for erasing in your pictures. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you, I've made a couple of preparations, a couple of graphite things, a couple of pastel things. I'm going to show you what you can do with it, and this is just as a start. I've got all sorts, a vast array of materials, equipment, pastels, pencils, like I said before, and over the course of time it's dawned on me, you know, not everybody's going to know about these things, and not everybody's going to know about these very simple things that can change your art. And for the sake, oh, there's my dogs again. They always seem to bark whenever I'm on video. What is that all about? Anyway, I'm going to show you things that are, like, you know, going to cost you from 60p to £2, and they're going to change your art completely. So without any further ado, I'm going to get into that. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so here we are then. What we're actually looking at is, you know, like this Evo or Evo stick or Yoo-Hoo white tack. It can be blue. I can buy these for about 60 pence down at Home Bargains, I believe. I think I have to buy a couple to get them for that price, but generally they're around about 99 pence. I mean, that's nothing, is it? And like it says, it's reusable white adhesive. Well, adhesive, yes, means sticking to the paper, but yes, it sticks to the paper, but it removes from the paper as well. Now, that in itself lends itself to so many possibilities. Right, now you can use it on a variety of mediums. In this case I've got some graphite, and then underneath I've got some pastel pencil to show you. Now I've also got here a Conte putty rubber. Now putty rubbers are great. They are great, don't get me wrong, they are great where they need to be applied. Now it's alright for rubbing out, but it's not so good for pulling out. And also what you find, even when you're just rubbing out, is that they do get very sticky, they get very dirty, they leave grain, smudging on the paper, and they also leave sticky residue on the paper. So they have their uses, but I don't use them much because I have this other thing that I do use. Now like I say, it's white tack, and look how much you get in comparison for probably half the price, I'd say. Now that's going to last you a long time. I can't really say how long, but a long time. And I just use little bits like this. If I need a bigger bit, I just get a bigger bit off. Now the best thing to do, as with a putty rubber probably, is just to hold it in your hand, keep it in your hand while you're painting, just sort of squidge it about here and there. Right, now with the putty rubber, you'll see that I've put some light colour here, right, and I've got a clean surface just to make the test proper. Now if I've done a light line, look, it's actually smudging it and blending it as opposed to rubbing it out. Now I'm going to use a bit of the blue tack. I'm going to do the same. A clean line. Alright, there's a tiny bit of smudge in there, but you're going to expect that. But what I was saying before was it acts like a magnet, so you can just dab, and you can probably get this just about back to white paper if you go long enough at dabbing. Now once you've got a surface there that is full of that graphite and you can see it's pulled it out, you just mould it back into another surface, and you just keep doing that until such time as it's overused. You'll know, because your page will get dirty. Now you can see even on that bit where the putty rubber was, and it's blended it in to the tooth of the paper. Now I can even pull some of that out and get it back a bit. So look, you can see that I can't really get back to the white of the paper with the putty rubber, because it's blended it and pushed it into the paper. And that would be the same with ordinary rubbers as well. But you can use the white tack to pull it back, pull that material out of the paper. Now it does all depend on what paper you use and what pencils you're using. Yes, there is a lot of that to it, but you will find in every single case the white or the blue tack is better. Now look, I'm going to go on to this. It's a 3B pencil, by the way. I'm going to go on to this medium pressure, and again, look, it's just blending it into the paper. Now that's not good. That really is not good. I'm going to try and, there we go, that's probably a little bit better. Now with this, yes, I can lightly rub it out, and it's better than the putty rubber already. But the other thing I can do is I can just keep dabbing, and I can mould this into some tiny little pieces. Look, I can get little spots in the eye if I needed to. Look, little dot there, and I can just keep doing that and pulling, push and pull, just like a magnet. There's the surface, completely full. Mould it round again and pull again, or push and pull, and you will almost get this back to the white paper. Now like I said, it does all depend what paper you're using, what the pressure of the pencil is, and you know, the cleanness of the blue tack, white tack. But you're going to get a far superior result with this than you will with a putty rubber or any other eraser for that matter. And you can look, you can mould it into a sharp thin line there, look, and I can just pull out a lovely little highlight there. When it gets a bit flatter, just pull it out again, nip it together. Alright, So I can rub it, I can dab it to get little dots, and I can put it into a big area to pull out vast areas. Even if I wanted to go over where the putty rubber bit, well, in fact that's not actually even pulling that out this time. That shows how bad the putty rubber is. But with this, look, I can just pull that out. Now I did do a video earlier of a little girl, and I was painting her face, and I'd made it too grey, and I'd used a bit of blue tack, white tack, to pull out the darkness of that and leave the underlayers of the light skin tone, so that I could then go back over it again. So in effect, I'll show you that now. Now this is I'll show you this. This is an area where I've pressed hard, so I pressed light, medium, and you'll see that that'll bring that back to that eventually if I just keep dabbing and pulling out the graphite. Now this is getting quite dirty now, this little bit of white tack, but you'll notice on here, even though it's getting dirty, I can still pull out little lines with white tack, and that's where I've pressed really hard and pressed the material into the paper. So this is actually probably the worst scenario of removing pencil. Look, if I just little dots, look, once I've done it once, it's not quite so good, so just get another surface area, mould it again and pull it out again, and you'll almost get that back to white. Now handy for things like highlights in the eye perhaps. Look at that, and I'm barely touching this paper. Now I'll see if I can just zoom in a bit more for that. Right, there we go. Right, so there we go, I'll show you again. Pull out a bit, mould it to a different surface, do it again, keep pulling, pressing and pulling, and that will get back almost to white. Now I'll show you on the big vast area now how I can get this. Look, I've done it once, pulled up so much graphite that it won't do it much anymore, so I'm just going to mould it again. You can see I've got a tiny little piece here. So I'm going to press into the paper again. Now I've got all that graphite there, mould a different surface, pull it back again. Look at that, it's going all the way back to white. Never going to be completely white, you're not going to get that. Right, so this is quite a used piece now. You can tell it's the size of a pea, and it's still doing the job, look. Right, so that's that. You can see it does a much better job. Okay, so we're going to look at pastel on pastel mat now. So I'm going to zoom out. So here we go. So I've got a couple of layers of pastel here. You can see where I had a little play with it before we came onto here. So look, if I use this, it's doing nothing, and even if I mould it to a different surface, it's effectively doing nothing. We should be seeing blue through there by now. If I get a piece of blue tack, a well-used piece of blue tack in this case again, and I press and I pull, I'll get all that red on there. Press and pull again, and you can see the red is now starting to come off. Now this is good. You can remove as much or as little pastel as you like. Okay, and you can see I'm getting back to the blue of the paper now, and what that is the stickiness, but not too sticky in this case, of the white tack pulling like a magnet the colour out of the tooth of the paper. Now look, if I put it on there, got the green, mould a different surface, keep going, mould a different surface. You can see the blue of the paper is starting to show, and this is as you know now, I've used this tiny little pea piece ever since we come onto this video, and I'm getting back to blue. Look, getting back to blue. Can you believe that? Isn't that incredible? Right, now what this does, what other rubbers don't do, it doesn't leave any sticky residue, it doesn't leave any marks blending, it doesn't leave any pastel on the paper anymore. So you have a completely removed piece of pastel or graphite or whatever other medium you might use it with, say Conte crayons, pastel pencils, soft pastels, things like that, and you can go back to the tooth of the paper and you still have tooth there to play with. So I'll just show you that. I'll just grab a quick pencil, look, and I've got all that tooth still, whereas over here it's not quite as good where I use that bit of putty rubber, but here, look, I can layer and layer and layer and layer. It's because I've preserved the tooth of the paper even though I put material onto it already, or pastel in this case. So let's just remove that, shall we? Let's remove that. There you go, there's a bit. Mould it in, and as you know, this is completely overused now. There's another piece. And the other good thing is it does actually leave, if you were working on white paper, it does actually leave your paper clean. So look, I've gone back to the tooth of the paper again, and I still have tooth. And I can do that as little or as often as I want. Isn't that brilliant? Now, chuck away the putty rubber, buy a thing of blue tack, white tack, and really change your painting for the better. Right, so that's a demonstration over. I hope that was well worth it. It's just a little tip, under £1, just to change the way you do your art. What can be better? So I hope you liked that demonstration. There's going to be lots more handy little tips like this coming along. I'm going to show you how to use different materials, different pencils, different objects, things like that are exceptionally cheap a lot of the time, that will change your art. I'm sure you can see how the white tack or the blue tack will change your art for the better. You haven't got to be afraid of mistakes anymore. Mistakes don't exist because mistakes can be mended for the sake of 99 pence maximum. Isn't that incredible? I was overjoyed when I heard about it. I don't know if I heard about it. I think I might have come up with it myself. I really don't know. Heard about it somewhere, but that's in the depths of the past. So, from a lovely sunny Norfolk, I'm going to bid you farewell. Whomever, wherever you are, have a great day, great evening, great week, and happy painting. Bye for now.